This is the podcast Wide Open Spaces with Ilise, the fiery redhead. You can check this podcast out anywhere you love listening to your favorite podcasts. Go to wideopenspaceswithilise.com. Ilise is spelled I-L-I-S-E. Follow me on all my social media, and don't forget to hit that love button. Now let's listen, talk, and evolve together. Thank you for joining me for episode number 166, National Coming Out Day. Now, please forgive me. I was away for 2 weeks, and of course, the day I came home, I got sick. So this isn't my natural voice. It's a little bit deeper than normal, but bear with me because today is National Coming Out Day. And I felt like if I didn't do it, I'd be remiss, especially as someone who works in the mental health field. Now, before I move on, I'm going to do a little personal plug of my newly published book, my first published book, Wanderlust Within, A Journey to Self-Discovery by Ilise Litwin. Ilise is spelled I-L-I-S-E. Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Goodreads, cute little private bookstores that you might order from. They're selling my book. My book is being sold at bookstores in Japan and Australia and China. Yes, I'm bragging a little bit, but that's part of mental health. When we do something to challenge ourselves, we should yell it from the mountaintops, share it with others, and be okay with being proud of yourself. So today is National Coming Out Day. Now, it was first originated in 1998, and then it was celebrated in all 50 states in 1990. Well, what is Coming Out Day? Well, it's when you're in the LBGTQAI community, plus, it's the day that the world becomes more aware of the diversity, the differences, the beauty that makes us all who we are. It's also a day where lots of people struggle because coming out is not easy. And why? You think that we're in a more evolved world than, let's say, in the 1940s or the 1950s. But we really haven't evolved that much when it comes to the LGBTQ plus community. And it becomes even a bigger struggle coming out to yourself first and foremost, and then coming out to your family and friends. But the main thing you can do to empower yourself is to come out to yourself first. Now, for those of you that can't relate, but you think about other things that you do, that you know about yourself, that you accept readily, you may say to yourself, well, if someone belongs to the LGBTQ plus community, why can't they just come out? Because of you, me, and many other people in the world. I am accepting, but you may not be accepting. And this is where being true to who they are sometimes hides in the darkness, can eat away at them for not living their authentic lives. I know nowadays the pronouns throw a lot of you off. And honestly, if I didn't have a child who was still in their teens and mid-20s, it probably would be hard for me as well. But as they were growing up, pronouns became more prevalent. And so it's something that I'm quite aware of. But when you start to talk to an older generation, it's not only that they can't get used to it, they can't accept it. Because for them growing up, things were black and white. And in today's world, it's a rainbow of colors. hence the rainbow flag that represents that community. Now, do you have someone in your life who belongs to that community? I can't count how many people I know who are part of this community. And I know there are different stories. For some, it was very easy to come out. And for others, they're still not fully out. And it breaks my heart as a mental health professional when I see people who cannot be authentic to who they are. Now, if you're someone who's struggling with this, your first step, like I said, is coming out to yourself. That's being true to who you are. It's really almost impossible to share that with anybody else and trust them if you're not being authentic with yourself first. And for many, it's really hard to acknowledge this change in lifestyle and accepting that their life might look different than the person sitting next to them. We know over the years, many people have hid in the shadows. They've committed suicide. They've harmed themselves. They've cut themselves. They've wound up being addicted to alcohol, drugs, or food to stuff the feelings, to cope with not being authentic to who they really are. When I see someone who's really young and can come out and be authentic, there's such a beauty in that. Now, I can't relate personally as someone who's heterosexual, but I can connect and understand that there are things about me that are different than the person sitting next to me. And those things I want others to accept about me and who I am and my authentic self. And so if you are struggling with that, think about the authenticities about you and how you want people to accept you. And now turn that into someone who is a part of this community, just wanting to be accepted. Bisexual, pansexual, transgender. And I could go on, which is why it's LGBTQIA plus community, because it's growing, because we are learning and evolving. That just because we come out born male or female should not delegate how we live our lives, who we feel like we are in our own skin, who we love, and maybe even the gender that we were born to, not being authentic to that. And so just think about it. Think about someone who comes out into this community. They know there'll be prejudices. They know there'll be hate. They know that people will turn their backs on them, friends or family. They know that in groups, when they first meet someone, they may be judged. So if this isn't your authentic self, why be a part of that community? You are a part of that community because it is who you are. And you accept that all the challenges that will come with it. So when you have a family member who says, maybe you just think you like girls, try dating boys. These are your friends and your family trying to get you to conform. Well, you don't look like you would like girls. I mean, you don't look like that stereotype. You just think about it. Maybe you're confused. Maybe you just watch too much TV and you're kind of joining this feeling of having to identify your pronouns and your sexuality. This is what a lot of young people hear when they tell their loved ones, their family, their friends. And this is why people struggle to come out. So on a day like today, I want you to feel free. Maybe today is your coming out day. Feel free. Feel confident. Authentic to yourself. You may see clues in your family members that have told you all along that they're not going to fit that mold that you think they should fit. Maybe it's your child. Maybe it's your grandchild. And you have this vision from the day they're born of what their life will look like. But now they've come out to you, or they've showed you little clues that they may be a little different than that traditional mold. And maybe you've been in denial, or maybe you just really haven't paid attention. I can talk about a situation that someone once told me about. How this family member of them, there were clues all along, but they didn't want to accept it. And it was almost like this person was screaming out to them, wanting them to say, are you a they, them? Do you identify as female? Do you identify as male? But yet the family and friends didn't. And the only thing I could say about that is because they really just didn't want to know the truth. And yet this person cut their hair very short. Their dress became more masculine. You saw clues in their social media of a different name being utilized instead of their born name. There's clues out there sometimes, yet family and friends choose or don't want to acknowledge. And really, that's your friend or loved one. They send those clues on purpose. They almost want you to break the ice about it because they're so afraid of what your response will be. Do you really want to be that person in your loved one's life who doesn't feel that they can be open to you, that are afraid that you're going to judge them or turn your back on them, when all they want is you to love them and accept them? And this is the food for thought. I've seen family members turn their back on loved ones. I've seen family members struggle and create animosity between them and that person. And then I've seen people who have struggled, but over time have accepted. But unfortunately, the pain is there and the rejection is there. And so if you have someone who's showing you clues or you sense it, reach your hand out to them. Make it comfortable for them to talk. Let them know that you'll understand and you'll listen. And you may have questions because you don't understand, but you're willing to listen and you're willing to ask the questions, no matter what the answer will be. That is how you show love for those who belong to the community. So on National Coming Out Day, what are some ways that you I could edit it out, but I'm just going to keep going because it's just going to keep coming. So support their rights. Go to Pride Day parades. Go to events that celebrate Pride. When it's a day to wear the rainbow colors, wear the rainbow colors. Those little things show your love. Attend awareness events. Learn about it. Understand it more. Instead of being judgmental and closed off, go to things that help you understand it more. So in turn, you can be there authentically for your loved one. Always offer support. And again, I'm going to say it one more time. Wear those rainbow colors. Unfortunately, there was this story about Target, and I think it was for Pride Day. It had nothing to do with National Coming Out Day, but it had to do with Pride Day. And if you've been in a Target when it gets close to Pride, you would see all this Pride apparel, and some group made a big stink, and Target caved, and they moved that stuff further back in the store. I get it, it's a business, and I understand it's about, I guess, the dollar. But what was so beautiful is that Target was embracing this, and this lack of understanding, this fear of people loving the same sex, or people who are different, or not feeling comfortable in their gender, scares a lot of people. And in turn, created this thing that was so positive and opening when you walked into Target to something that was pushed a little further back in the store. And that makes me sad, and I hope we can continue to evolve. And I know there's a struggle out in this world right now, but be who you are. I went to Spain recently, and I've been to Budapest recently, and the rainbow flags are everywhere. And I love it. I love it because there's people in my life who are in that community. I've had clients who have struggled in that community. I know people who have taken their lives who are in that community. So the more we accept, become aware, understand, and just give them a hug, well, we might just be saving a life. So in National Coming Out Day, it's not just about somebody who might come out today. And I'd love to hear about it in the comments, my social media, or this podcast, or my website. But it's also about you, the person who supports that person in the community. How you can celebrate them today on National Coming Out Day. Wear your rainbow colors today. Splash it on your social media. Share it with your friends. Go look at my posts that I put out on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Threads, yada, yada, yada. And I'm going to end this podcast now because, as you can tell, I've coughed. My voice is getting deeper, and I think it's telling me it's time to shut up. But I just wanted to share my words of wisdom, experience, strength, openness, so hopefully it wears off on you. So thank you for joining me at Wide Open Spaces with Ilise, episode number 166, National Coming Out Day. Now, until next week, I hope this voice is a little bit better. I'm ready to share my adventure that I took of 2 weeks that was extremely life-changing, and I hope it'll change your life as well. Remember, positive thoughts always create positive energy. Go out and explore all those wide open spaces in your world. Ciao.